Hello and welcome to another edition of Biz Headlines on GhanaWeb TV, where we bring you the latest in the world of business. My name is Stella J. John Sogli. So our very first story for today, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has noted that the dependence of African countries on foreign capital is both risky and costly. He said the over-reliance on foreign capital has resulted in huge financial leakages through high interest rates for defaulting countries, among others. Speaking at Afrexim Bank's 30th annual meeting held in Accra on Monday, he indicated that this problem could be solved if African economies develop strong financial institutions across the continent. On top of trends this week has been the leasing of the Tema oil refinery to a group named Nkommo Asset Management. According to reports, the lease is to be done for 6 years at a cost of $22 million. Now, the group is allowed to refine up to 8 million barrels of oil a year by paying $1 million every year as rent. However, social media users have expressed their displeasure with the details of the deal. According to them, the refinery is worth about $700 million, but is being leased at $22 million, which is a bad deal. Some of them have also noted that the government is quietly going through the deal in order to sneak in revenue for the incoming political season. Now, as conversations continue on the details of the Tema oil refinery Nkommo deal, it has emerged that the former MD of Tor, Asante Beck, who was arrested for criminal offenses, has been linked to the new deal. Now, policy think tank Imani Africa has linked the latest lease of the Tema oil refinery to the former managing director of the refinery, Asante Beck, who was arrested and sued in the USA for criminal offenses. According to Imani, the deal to lease the refinery for 6 years is full of smoke and mirrors. Explaining how Asante Beck is linked to the deal, Imani noted that Asante Beck and one Michael Dako are obscuring their roles in the lease by using a string of shell companies. Imani's assessment of the deal said, in August 2022, Tor signs term sheet to lease its assets to Decimal Capital. Decimal is owned by Mr. Asante Beck, former CEO of Tor, who resigned after being sued by the U.S. government for bribing government officials in Ghana whilst working for Goldman Sachs. Mr. Michael Dako is a director of Decimal. In September 22, however, right to enter lease agreements with Tor shifts from Decimal to Bay Bridge Assets Management Limited, most likely to obscure Mr. Beck's role and his continued use of his political links to drive the transactions. In November 2022, Mr. Asante Beck was arrested in the UK based on a request by the US. He is charged with corrupting Ghanaian officials in a Turkey power plant deal. He transfers his shares to Dako Investment Company owned by Mr. Michael Dako. In January 2023, Nkommo Assets Management is set up. It is owned by Mr. Michael Dako with Mr. George Enchi as director. Tor now shifts relationship from Bay Bridge to Nkommo for the same leasing deal. The think tank further went on to say that none of these entities have any track record. In more business news, Ghana's GDP has been said to increase by 4.2% in the first quarter of 2023. This is according to recent figures released by the Ghana Statistical Service, who explained that when seasonally adjusted, Ghana's real GDP increased by 1.1% in the first quarter of 2023, covering January to March. This represents 0.3 percentage points higher than what was recorded in the fourth quarter of 2022, covering October to December. Ghana's former ambassador to China, Nkommo Wo Ho, has squashed claims and assertions that the Chinese are here to take over Ghana and also exploit our natural resources. According to him, Ghanaians need to erase the negative perceptions they have about the Chinese, as China is here to stay. Addressing journalists at the Africa-Ghana-China Relations training on Wednesday, June 21, Ambassador Nkommo Wo Ho said it is about time Ghanaians are educated about China and the benefits Ghana can enjoy as trade partners. Quote, China is here to stay. China is rising whether we like it or not. So let's try and educate our people about China. China is a must-go place. The situation is that I don't think you can discard it. End quote. And that'll be all for this week's edition of Biz Headlines here on GhanaWeb TV. For more of our news stories, do log on to our website at www.ghanaweb.com. Also follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The GhanaWeb. On YouTube, GhanaWeb TV. My name is Stella Sugli. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.